What is going on, you guys? Welcome to today's video and welcome to another absolutely beautiful day here in sunny Germany. But I'm not gonna get too used to this because you guys know it'll go from this to 36 and almost snowing like that. But at least for today, it's quite nice. Today the plan is to finish the caliper paint on the Bora Wagon, and then once Jeremy and Tony get here, gonna do some fender rolling. All right, we got the Wagon set up ready to go. I need to go through, I painted this caliper already, but I want to paint the carry itself. I'm gonna have to go through and like tape around this because this carry is actually part of the hub, which is kind of annoying, but the red does look really good. Jeremy's here, Jeremy's up there working on the Skyline, fixing his crooked intercooler.
Shut up.
It's kind of cool. I've never seen an intercooler wrap back around and stuff goes this way, but it's an OG one. It's the Blitz, which is pretty cool. Good old RB25. And then Tony's working on rolling the fenders on the front of his car because when we were returning yesterday, it's rubbing a bit through here when it compresses down. So we're that fixed today.
Now I got
Dang, look at that. Got the red calipers and the KW. Shoot. Red calipers and the KWs. Same car. Same car. So on this side, while I have the actual caliper off, I'm gonna go ahead and paint the carry at the same time, which I should on the other side. I don't know why I didn't, but we'll do this one. So I'm gonna have to tape up like the entire rotor and kind of get behind here because like I said, this entire carry is part of the actual hub. As a paint, maybe I'll pull the rotor off and I don't know. I just wish this was separate. I could pull this whole thing off together and not have to do it separately, but it is what it is. All right, so I went ahead and pulled the rotor off on both sides. That way we can go through and just tape up this whole section and paint both of these two arms. That way this is red and nice, and this also matches, and it's all nice in one color. Kind of a paint this is part of the hub, but I guess that's what they went with. I think later on though, once I'm pulling the V5 part more, I'm gonna put the V5 brakes on this car and then just go with that. All right, we got our first side all prepped, ready to go. I'm only focusing on this part because you're only gonna see these two arms coming out basically, but I figured I would do the whole arm. I could do the entire hub, but I'm gonna pull everything apart, do a lot of taping, and you're not gonna see any of that. So we're just focusing on this section here. Once this is painted and drying, I'll pull the caliper out to the front and paint this one as well. All right, we got the first layer of primer down on both sides. And then how are we looking over here with the fenders?
Good.
Pretty smooth?
Pretty smooth.
We didn't have to do too much on his car because it wasn't rubbing like crazy bad, but just enough that there's some more clearance that when he's turning, it's not destroying his fenders, but that feels a lot better than before. There we go. Now it's gonna be looking much better once the actual calipers back in there and the arms match. I'm glad I chose red. The red looks really good. All right, so Jeremy has finished up with the intercooler on my Skyline. It's looking nice and even now. Tony is now on to the passenger side.
Yes, sir.
To start rolling this side of the fender, and then I have finished all the layers of red on both sides, and it's looking really nice. I'm gonna do one or two layers of clear. Well, then once all that's done, we'll pull all this out, and I'll actually do the caliper on this side. I have to still paint, and then we'll do the one in the rear, and then all of our brakes will be nice and red and looking way better than before. At this point, both the carriers are completely done and drying. And I've got this caliper getting prepped for paint now. Actually, that'll get this one actually pretty smooth. A lot of the surface actually came off, which is nice. So this will get painted here in a second, and then we'll have all fancy red. Driver's side is all back together. I have to say, with the carrier being red too, it actually looks way cleaner. So this side's already done and assembled. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the fender roller on this side and roll this slip on mine just a little bit. Like I said, when it compresses down, it hits a little bit. So just get this lip out of the way just a tad bit. All right, we've got the fender liner all mounted up. I didn't quite explain it on his car, but it's very easy to do. I only have two in here right now, but it's enough to definitely hold it. I also have the 20 mil spacer just to give me more angle on this. There's an adjustment here to turn your roller either further out or further up. I have it very light right now to make sure I have a nice lip pressing this way first before we get too crazy with it. This is your crank arm to turn in to move your arm out or add pressure. And then you can either push it up or down, but it's very simple to use. You'll also need a nice heat gun here. Keep your fender nice and warm as you go. Try and not crack your paint. Granted, these fenders don't necessarily matter all that much, and I don't really care if the paint cracks, but on a nicer car, you would definitely care a bit more. But heat your fender up, keep it nice and warm, and then just slowly work it out. You want to start small, and then add more pressure with your crank here. Just got done going through my first light layer. You can see pretty much where I stopped. This section's very flat and it starts to roll up right through here. This was here, so we've gone in a decent amount so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the angle of this now to a more aggressive angle and start pressing this more flat. It just sounds so good. One day, boys. One day we will have our very own R33. You're good. You're good. Hey, buddy.
See ya.
All right, so at this point we have the fender pretty much done. I have the first light layer through, just kind of bending up a little bit. I've changed the roller to be a bit more aggressive and more flat now to really roll that lip flat. We want to keep our heat gun on, keep it nice and warm. I'm going to add a bit of pressure with the arm here and just work our way back and forth until we get where we want. Add a bit of pressure here. We're going to heat gun going again, and we'll slowly work our way back and forth. So at this point, this driver's side fender is pretty much done. You can see where we started, way over here, and how far we've now rolled the fender, giving us that much more clearance. Now the fender liner is just gonna have to sit here. If you're running fender liner still, just know you can't quite rest it on top much anymore. I did leave this section here, so all of this still holds back, and over here is still for the most part underneath it. But we got ourselves a nice roll. All this lip is up and out of the way. Like that, I could have made it completely flat, but I don't need to do it that much. And now we should be able to turn the car, and when it compresses down, it should not hit near as much or at all. So I think we're good to go. I also had a lot of you guys ask me what suspension the Bora is on. These are KW V1s, and they ride absolutely fantastic. 10 out of 10 recommend KWs for your car. So this one here got its last layer of clear coat and is just about done. And then I totally forgot I have to do this back one still. So while that's drying, I can't do the fender rolling just yet here. I'm gonna jack up the back of the car and get this back one started. That way I can put the whole thing back on the ground and then wash this car today, because it yeah, it's bad. It's trash. It's horrible, and it needs a wash. And then also, very exciting news, Andy from Project High Gloss told me he actually has a piece for the Bora wagon. We're actually gonna pick up tomorrow. But what do you guys think it's gonna be? He has a piece for the wagon. What do you guys think it's gonna be? I figured I'd go ahead and take a quick second to explain how to remove your rear caliper on a Mark IV. Very easy to do. Where this Allen key is right here, there's two 8mm nuts or bolts right there on the top and on the bottom. That holds your carrier and your caliper to the hub itself. And then you want to disconnect your e-brake, which is right there. Once that's out, and once these two screws are out, the whole thing comes off as one. Very, very simple to do. If you want to pull the entire thing complete off, your banjo bolts right here that connects your brake line, and then it's completely free. But these ones are very easy, very straightforward. They come off pretty quickly. I had to say it. I just had to say this side should be super easy and come right off, because now both of the screws in the back, or the bolts in the back, I cannot break free. Everyone says, why don't you ever use like PB Blast or liquid wrench? I use that all the time. I promise you, all the time. I've sprayed them. They've been sitting for about 30 minutes. I've tried using the Allen key and a hammer, the breaker bar. I tried using the ratchet here, using the jack to lift it up on one of the sides, and they don't want to budge. So this side might not get done today. So we'll see. I'm gonna let it sit some more with some more liquid wrench, and maybe it'll decide to come free. But right now, she's just not wanting to come out. All right, well, this back one might not be getting painted, because I've now stripped out both of the bolts, top and bottom. Allen key bolts should not be a thing. There's no reason that this couldn't be a socket-headed bolt, and not a, there's just no reason. I've let it, look at it, you can see all the WD-40, liquid wrench. It's been soaking for about 45 minutes, and just rounded right off on both of them. So I either have to just leave it, or I'm gonna try and tape around the caliper on the rotor, which is gonna be awful, but just so, it was going so well. 3 out of the 4 are done. Last one to do, and of course, the only way to get this, hopefully this car doesn't need brakes in the time that I own it, because if it needs brakes, I have to cut those bolts complete off to get it out of there, because it's just stupid, unnecessary. All right, boys and girls, we made the best of the situation. It is what it is. We are painting the caliper while it is still on the car. I've taped off everything as best that I can. Will there be some overspray on the rotor itself? Yes. It's gonna be the end of the world. No, it's okay. Just, it is what it is. I do not care anymore. It's gonna be red like the rest of them. It is what it is. All right, while the primer in the rear is drying, I'm gonna go ahead and get this front fender rolled. That way, once that one in the rear is done, we can get it all slapped back together and still wash the car before we run out of daylight. All right, we'll get that nice and tight so it can't go nowhere. Now I'm gonna start off again with a light angle, and then we'll go ahead and work it a bit more aggressive after I get it started. Show you guys the before real quick. You can see how flat this lip and how far it sticks in, and then I'll show you guys the after once it's all nice and rolled up out of the way.
That's good.
Our front fender is officially rolled and good to go. You can see where the section is flat and then it cuts in, and all this section is nice and smooth now and rolled up. I only really heard the car rubbing on that side, so I did both just to be safe, but hopefully now no more issues. And we have our first coat of red on the back. So making good progress, almost done. You know, for this side to be the most annoying side that I had to do, it actually came out probably one of the smoothest. Well, dang. If I didn't show you guys that I did this on the car, you would never know, because like, I think we hit every spot. That actually came out really good. And there's only one right there, one tiny little bit of red on the outside of the rotor, which isn't even an issue. So I cannot complain. As annoying as this was to still do, I'm glad it came out as good as it did. The wagon is officially done with some sunlight to spare. The red calipers look really good. They pop super nicely. I'm glad we went with the red, and I'm glad I went ahead and painted the carriers in the front as well, because it really finishes the look. We got rolled fenders, we have painted calipers all around. She's looking really good. I don't know where Steve's at. I haven't seen him at all today, but hopefully next time we see him we can get his opinion on the calipers. I'm sure he's gonna talk crap about something else, but at least the calipers are looking good now. With just a tiny bit of light to spare, the wagon is washed and waxed and looking absolutely fantastic as always. I hope you guys are enjoying the wagon content. I love this thing. Now it pisses me off, but aside from that, I do really love this car. I like working on this car. It looks good. I think this car looks awesome for a daily, and I just enjoy messing with this car. So hopefully you guys enjoy these videos as well. Like I said, we have a new part coming for this car tomorrow, coming from Andy, which is awesome, and I can't wait to get that. The car's just fun. I quite enjoy this thing. Oh, well, look who it is right there at the top. Yeah, I hear you. You see the calipers? Yeah? What do you think? Looking pretty good, huh? Okay, you know what? Whatever. I know I don't have a rear lip, but I haven't seen you all day, and this is what you give me. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. All right, well, with that, we're going to end the video here. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, don't forget, be thankful for every single day. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.